Hi everyone, I'm Ross, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I would cover what I deem as some good ideas for Christmas, for the golfer in your life, and also some potential purchases for yourself. So kind of going to run through a few things that you may be seen in a few of my other videos, and kind of talk about what are some potentially good Christmas ideas with Christmas just around the corner. So one of the things that I found really useful this year, again not too expensive, depending on how much you want to spend, is a chipping net. So these can range anywhere from the super cheap, such as this one, around £15, all the way up to £50-60. Again, depending on how much you want to spend will depend on the quality that you get. So really good for the back garden, allowing people to just chip, practice with the regular balls. But what I've also found as well is things like this you can pick up, which is a reduced distance ball. It's lovely and plastic. Again, does help you keep that distance control down in your back garden rather than blading a shot potentially into your neighbour's window or into your own. So combination of the two I found has worked quite well. And then on sort of shorter shots where I'm not risking my windows or my neighbour's windows, being able to use a full ball. Some of the other things as well that you may have seen in a few of my other videos is impact boards. So again, these range from relatively cheap to relatively expensive, depending on the make, brand, model. Again, really good, helps the golfer in your life just see, are they missing a specific way, so they're coming over the top, or are they hitting before the ball? And it just gives that sort of very quick visual feedback. Again, it's an outdoor one, so you can use 4 T-pegs to pin that into the ground, but there is some internal ones, which I've got as well. It's got a bit of Velcro you can take to the range and things and Velcro it down. Proper impact board, so again, that's just helping work on strike, and just making sure that you're moving your weight to the left, and therefore your attack angle from positive, which you would hit here, to negative, hitting beyond this point, and then 0 being there. Again, these are actually relatively expensive compared to some other things. So this set, for instance, would have cost me probably about £80 at the time. I think they're a bit more expensive now, depending on where you find them online. But again, not too expensive, but not exactly a stocking filler. Speaking of stocking fillers, foam golf balls, always great to have. Good for garage practice, especially if you don't have a lot of room outside to set up a net. I know I don't. Sadly I drive my household crazy by pinging little foam balls off the garage wall behind me. You can't see some of the scuff marks where it's not been a foam ball I've used. But again, good stocking filler. Another good stocking filler as well, golf gloves, always a great thing. At the moment I'm working my way through the Kirkland Signature Costco brand ones. Again, these are some of the ones that I've bought myself, but I always get usually a couple of golf gloves given to me at Christmas, but again I go through them like there's no tomorrow, just due to the fact that I have quite a strong grip. One of the other things as well you can get, you golfer in your life or for yourself, is a nice shaft wrap. So shaft wrap protects the shafts, adds some very marginal weight, so it doesn't actually put your swing weight out at all in your golf clubs. Again, there's a few places you can get these. They're relatively inexpensive, anywhere between £5 and £25, depending on the make and the brand. I've had a mixture from different brands, all relatively good, all lasted very well. Quite difficult to put on the first few times you do try it, so the golfer in your life needs to have patience to do it. This is one of my better attempts. You can actually see there is absolutely nothing apart from the seam there. but that is about my 20th shaft wrap I've put on. It does take patience, it does take time. If you rush it, you will make a mistake. Some other stocking filler ideas: alignment balls, really good to go alongside things like putt out. So again, they're probably about £10 at most, maybe 15, depending where you're sourcing them from. You've also got putt out as well. Putt out varies in prices. If you're going for the more premium one to the lower end one, typically around £20-ish. Again, goes really well with any sort of mat, but you can also buy the putt out golf mat. Again, there's now multiple sizes of this. There's also the newer version that's several £100s, that you can blow up and change the different angles of the putting surface. I've had a few putt out mats in my time, always really good condition, always wear really well, and partner up great with the rest of the putt out gear. There is other putt out bits you can buy to go with it, mirror, alignment aids. Again, sort of range in price. Typically the putt out mats are about £50 to £70. Speaking of putt out, devil balls. So these are the most frustrating things I have ever been given, but it really does put my putting to the test. So depending, you can see on the back there, whether you've got an open face, closed face, or straight face, will determine how far offline your ball shoots, left, right, or otherwise. Again, really good, not too expensive, probably around £20. I believe, again, I can put all links in the comments if anyone has any specific interest. But probably most frustrating, but also probably one of the most worthwhile things that you can pick up. Another cheap stocking filler, impact tape. So shows you your strike location, creates a nice lovely blue mark on the impact tape. Again, really lets you know where you're hitting the ball in the face. For those that play more cavity based irons, you don't get a lot of feel, that will help you see where you're striking it. I play blade, so I get quite a lot of feedback if I know I'm hitting out the toe and heel. But for me, a lot of that is to help me check to make sure that my lie angles are correct, I've not had any clubs bend, and that I'm striking it how I want to strike it, especially in the winter once it's colder and it's harder to get that feel. Some of the other things, Fly Golf. I found this is more of a toy than a training aid, personally speaking. It is good to an extent. Don't take the numbers to heart, is probably what I would say. It's good indications, it's a good bit of fun, it's a very cheap, easy way to get into golf simulators. Again, ranges in price between about 150 to 250 depending on the time of year, Black Friday sales, etc. Again, this was a gift a couple of years ago. Again, when I've not had a lot of time to practice, it's been quite easy just to pick up, throw it on my map on my phone, or cast it to my TV, and at least get me swinging. Some other cheap ones, alignment sticks. So alignment sticks are really good, relatively inexpensive depending on where you pick them up. £15 to £25 depending. I've had this set now since, about 2018. Again, this was a pro shop buy at the time, but again, quite easy and cheap to pick up online. Swing speed trainer. So again, swing speed trainer, really good, really helpful, help pick up that club head speed for those slower swing speeds or those who are looking to try and gain a few more yards. I've definitely seen an uplift from me. As I say, I had a bit of in the previous video, I had a bit of a drop off this year due to lack of play, lack of practice, and a few injuries that I've been nursing. But trying to chase that club head speed back up. So prior to this season, I was averaging about 118. I'm now down about 114, on the bad days 112. So currently trying to build that back up, as you've probably seen from a few of my shorts. But I'm chasing 120. So that is my aim, is to average 120 in the next year, which probably means I need to get up to about 123 as a max. So that's a good way to do it. All swing trainers typically come with a swing training program, but there is free apps such as Ripstick, which are also available to help you train. One of the other things as well that I've got here that you've probably seen in plenty of golf stores or in your local Sports Direct, which is the PGA Tour trainer. It's really good for grip alignment, so I leave this around the house. Just as I'm walking by, it just keeps me practicing and working on my grip. You can get grip trainers that go on and off your golf club. Again, they're not a lot of money either. They're roughly about £10-ish, 15 for the more expensive ones. Again, I believe this is about £25 to £30. The good thing with this one is the fact that it does have the weights at the end, so you can change it to be more representative of the clubs that you're using. And again, you can just use that as a swing trainer, work on things like your swing plane, so you can work on making sure that you're getting in there and through. Again, not that expensive. I've used it in the past as well for swing speed training, just because of that heavier weighted at the end. But it's a good thing to have to work on multiple aspects: grip, swing plane, and you can help it use for a bit of swing speed training, just because it is weighted so heavy. Speaking of that as well, the Orange Whip. So this is more of a tempo trainer, so you can get different variations of this. Again, it's something I've used on and off in the past. Personally speaking, it doesn't get a lot of love from me at this moment in time. But as I start to build up my speed again, I will need to continue to work on my tempo. So that's where that will start to come back in for me. But good weighted at the end as well can really help me with release aspects. So making sure I'm getting that X factor where I'm getting down in here and getting through. Again, relatively expensive compared to some of the other things. Swing speed trainer, for instance, that's around about £100. Orange Whip comes in about the same, unless you can find it cheaper online. For winter golf, lovely winter mats. So these all again vary anywhere from a few pound up to relatively expensive ones that you can see with spikes in the bottom. So they range up to about £30-35. Again, just depends on the quality of what you want to play. Some of the ones that are closer to turf are more expensive. Tying in with that as well, again, for back garden practice, into the nets, is things like this, which is a nice surface, so a mixture of heavy rough and short grass, as well as a hole there which you can then push a rubber tee through, which comes as part of the pack. So this is an SKLZ, so Skills one. This is a Costco buy. This has helped me, along with the chipping net, just get out, get some practice when the weather has been poorer, or set it up in the garage to allow me to work on things in here as well, chipping being the key thing, and allow me with a mixture of foam balls and reduced distance balls as well to work on that. Some of the other things that are always good to have: counterbalance weights for putters. So if the golfer in your life or you yourself have got a super stroke grip, that's got the ability to put counterbalance weights in. Really, really good thing to have if you know you're struggling with your putter, whether that's the putter weight, whether that's the head weight. Again, these, depending on the weight that you're going for, vary in cost. So what I've got here is the 50 and a 75 gram. Again, you can also then buy that putter grip as well to go with that. Putter grip will range in price depending on size, thickness, etc. Typically coming in about 15 to 20 pounds. Again, counterbalance weights come in roughly about 20 to 25 pounds. But again, depending what a person's struggling with, what you're struggling with, can be a good solid investment. Some of the other cheaper things that I've had before as gifts have been target tools. So this is a Me and My Golf Spy one. Sorry, not Me and My Golf, Me and My Golf one, which is really good for chipping practice. Again, something that hasn't had a lot of love from me recently, but will be during the off season. Getting into the sort of more expensive side of things, there's lasers. This one is a relatively inexpensive one from Amazon. It's about 40 to 45 pounds. Again, said in other videos, compared to some of the more expensive ones that family members have used, I typically see them about a yard out on most distances. Again, it's also got slope rating on that as well, which is really good. And typically not always involved in some of the cheaper models. But again, I found that really good in the course. Some sort of more cheaper stocking fillers. Ball markers. Ball markers are key, so this is a Hell for Leather one. So these range on Hell for Leather, depending on what model and things you're going for and what style you're going for, can be anywhere between 10 and 20 pounds, or if you're going for a set, more expensive. I've collected a few of them over the years. Really good, nice little stocking filler. There is other places where you can get custom made ones, again come at a higher price, but really enjoy that brand. I've got a few other brands that I can go through another day, or I can leave in the comments below where I've got some other ones. Head covers, so I've got a range of head covers from driver to fairways, ranging from Happy Gilmore ones to the Saltire ones to out of bounds ones to hit bombs, as well as fairway woods hybrid covers, and I know some people will squirm at this, but even iron head covers, again ranging in price. Those ones from Caddy Club range again in price, typically 25 to 30 pounds. Really good, really solid brand. Can't praise them enough. Deliveries have always been really good. As I say, I've got matching sets all the way down to putter that have come from there. Really enjoy it. Relatively inexpensive stocking filler. On to the more expensive things. Garmin R10. I found it's a good home simulator. So about 500-ish pounds. Probably one of the cheapest that you'll find out there. Decent enough quality for what I use it for. There is things like SkyTrack that sit around on the older models at the moment are about £1,000, and more the newer models are about £2,000, which is probably the next tier up. Again, if you have the space and the availability, great things to put in. I don't, and the ability that gives me to take that out in the course, take it out to the range, and even use it in the back garden is fantastic. D-Wiz. So D-Wiz, really good in terms of working on my length of swing, as well as working on certain things like tempo, club head speed. D-Wiz will pick a lot of that up. I'll do a full review on D-Wiz, as well as Hack Motion, which I have here as well. Just watch out for that on the channel. Hack Motion, really good in helping get good club face control across your full bag, instant feedback. If you do go for the more expensive models, you also then get the putting aspects in there as well. But very high cost to get that in comparison to the base model, which is around a couple of £100. D-Wiz about similar region as well, about £200. Blast Golf and Zip, both cheaper alternatives. Both have got their good and their bad points, but more tempo trainers than anything else, I would say. Not what I would say, if you were having indecision between these and other products, I'd probably say spend some time, do a bit of research. What I found is, for me, Hack Motion and D-Wiz have been better investments in money than these. But that's not saying that they're not good. That's just saying that the other products have outperformed them. From my view and my standpoint, again, I'll do a full review on these products and compare them all as well. And the last few things to finish off, Arcos, so Cobra Connect. So you'll see here my 2-iron Cobra Connect there. That awful head cover that some people will hate. So again, really good, connect it on course. The sensors themselves are relatively inexpensive as individuals. If you are a Cobra Connect / Arcos member, you do get discounts on the website, as long as you sign in. Full packs are quite expensive for starter packs, and the subscription yearly. The last time I believe it was about £60 roughly for the yearly subscription. When you buy a starter pack, you do typically get 1 year free. So that when you buy a starter pack, take that into consideration as well, that you are getting that free subscription, but don't take my word for it, double check on the website. And then last but not least, Golf Watch. Golf Watch is a great thing. I've got the Bushnell Ion 2, so an older model, but not that expensive, about £100–150 at the time of purchase. Again, that's done me multiple years. That's probably about 2018-ish as well. Again, can update it, put new courses on it. It's not steered me wrong, so that combined with my laser, it's giving me good, accurate distances. And then again, last few things at Stocker Filler, hats. Hats vary in price depending on the brand, model, and also golf tops, other layers as well. Again, depending on the brands, you've got things like Druids, which do good bundles. So my mid layer here is a Druids one. You can see I'm wearing a Cobra Puma Golf. This has got branding from my local pro shop on the corner there. Again, sorry you're not getting a free plug, Roger. But again, good stocking fillers. Again, range in price depending on the brands and how much you want to spend. Always going to see your local pro shops. This time of year, there's a lot of ex-season stuff on sale. I know, for instance, my local club, we're looking at about 70% off discount. Just off the back of Black Friday, that will continue to try and get rid of the end of year stock before going into next season's purchases, which will roll into the shop roughly February, March. That, guys, is everything that I kind of picked out as what I thought were good Christmas gifts, good birthday gifts, ideas, stocking fillers. If anyone's got any questions, queries, stick it in the comments below. If anyone's got anything else that they think I missed that is a must-have this Christmas, stick it in the comments below. I'll try and get back to everybody. Hope you found it all useful. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye.